So I'm literally starting the channel, just sitting in my bed. I look like shit. But it's the 8th of February, so it's the day after my 29th birthday. I always tell myself I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I've always like put it off. I dated someone that was pretty big on YouTube. He made it pretty big within the span of a year due to COVID. Keeping anonymous, obviously, for his own privacy as well as just, you know, for my own reasons. But anyways, I'm starting this because I've been told many times that I have a personality that's good for YouTube. But right now I'm obviously a little camera shy, so we'll see how it progresses in the next couple of months, if not years. Well, I kind of wanted to do this channel based on just my Tinder stories. I've had over probably 5,000 Tinder dates starting from 2015 when Tinder was first like a thing that I knew about thanks to my sister. And now I've gotten a lot of good stories from it. People are telling me to write a book. I have a friend from LA that's able to probably help me produce that. But I kind of do YouTube just because I feel like it's a way to just get my story out there. Like social media is a little bit more fast growing than the book industry at the moment. So wanted to just come in there. But oh shit, what is that noise? But I wanted to talk about my like initial thoughts on online dating, how different platforms differ, how they have different guys, the age of guys differ, and so forth. So yeah, if you're interested, definitely stay tuned. Click that bell notification button and like and subscribe if you like what you see. I'll start off with my first story. So basically, I was on a date. We were supposed to go grab coffee, and I never have anyone pick me up ever. Like, I just don't believe in guys picking up just because I don't like people knowing where I live at. And I decided to go against my judgment because I actually super liked him. And I don't really super like guys just because I feel like it's definitely an ego boost, and some guys don't need that. Anyways, I super liked him, and I was like, okay, well, he seems pretty normal. Let's just see how if he's gonna respond. And he actually did, and we matched. And 2 days later, we're just talking. He seems pretty normal, seems really intelligent. We're talking, and we're like, hey, let's go for a coffee date. So he said, hey, well, just letting you know, I've always had this first impression that a guy should start off the date really chivalrous and pick up the girls. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I've never done this before. My thousands of days, I never had this opportunity to say yeah, and also never had this like intuition that it's okay to say yes, which my intuition was wrong for the first time in a while. Anyways, he picks me up at my place, and we were supposed to go get coffee. We chat in the car for 20 minutes. I get in. He's really attractive, looks exactly like his pictures. There's no catfishing going on. I get in the car, and we just make small talk, just like talking about his Crocs, like how he's wearing Crocs, and like, you know, Crocs is such a, you know, like such a sexy symbol of like masculinity. Just kidding, guys. And keep on talking, and then he starts driving, and then we just start talking kind of about our Tinder experiences, how I've had a like pretty diversified Tinder experience, and how he hasn't had that many. And then he asked me a question out of nowhere, about 10 minutes away at this point, and he's like, hey, do you believe in soulmates? And I'm like, I guess I believe that there's multiple soulmates for people, but you know, I don't think I've met my soulmate, where I have, but he's now seeing someone else, and obviously that didn't work out. And he's like, well, I do too. I actually have a soulmate, and she actually died last year today. I'm like, oh, like obviously like red flags going off in my head, but I didn't do anything because I'm stuck in his car and I can't really escape. So I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of fucking weird, but okay. So then, you know, you just say, oh, I'm sorry. And then you kind of expect the guy to just kind of like not talk about it because it's not something you talk about on the first date. Some guys, you know, soulmate dying. But he, on the contrary, seems to have like Asperger's or some shit, and starts talking about it. He's like, oh yeah, so, you know, we were driving, and the reason I don't drink anymore is because she got killed by a drunk driver. I'm like, okay. Well, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, just being the nice person you're supposed to be on a first date, because you can't just, first of all, I'm stuck in his car, second of all, you can't just jump out and be like, okay, see you later. Like, you know, I don't want to die, it's not worth it at that point. But then he just keeps talking about how her name was Haley, blah, 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 and like, you know, just random facts about her. I'm like, I didn't ask, but okay. But then we pull up to the coffee place, and he gets out, and he decides to get something from the trunk, and he opens the door for me really gentlemanly. He opens the door for me, gets out this jacket, and I didn't see the color because it's dark at night. And we go into the coffee shop, and he puts a jacket around my back. I'm like, okay, I don't turn around because I'm a little scared. And then he goes and orders coffee, and he orders like a venti mocha cappuccino. I don't remember exactly the flavor, but it's something kind of sweet, and I'm not really into that sweet of coffee drinks. He orders it without me asking him to. I didn't even tell him what I liked, and he just assumed, and he comes back and he's like, this is what Haley would have ordered, and starts addressing to me like I'm his girlfriend. And he's like, oh, by the way, that's her jacket, the one that she died in. And I turn around and there's blood on that fucking jacket. I'm like, what the fuck? Is this guy crazy? Anyways, I'm like freaked out at this point, and I actually had another date an hour later, and that was like my ex, and we were like, hey, just let me know, I had to go home, I had to work early, just make it the random excuse that a lot of people do. Would you mind taking me home? I'm happy to pay for that, and otherwise I'll get an Uber. And he's like, no, it's okay, let's just go. Hey, I want you to stay for a little bit longer, but that's okay. So we start driving back to his place, and then all of a sudden this song comes onto the radio, and the song was Beast of Burden by, I think, the Rolling Stones. I've never heard it before. He literally, in the middle of the highway, just pumps his fucking brakes, and I almost, like, the coffee's still in my lap, and I almost tilts over, and I'm like, what the heck? And he's like, this was our song, and just like starts like in the middle of the highway, just stops and just keeps on listening to it. Like, it's totally normal to stop in the middle of the highway and not with the cars honking. At this point, I told him, hey, if you don't take me home in the next minutes, I'm gonna call the cops. He's like, wait, why the rush? Like, he seems like, he acts like he doesn't realize what he's doing is not normal. That's the strange part, because he's really strange, really intelligent. And he told me that he works in like a think tank where, like, you know, basically seeing like he's like better than everyone else, and he's super intelligent, and no one can compare to him. But anyways, we get back to my place, and he drops me off. He's like, by the way, before you leave, she would have wanted us to have sex, and starts pulling down his pants. At this point, I bolt, and I ran to my house, and I literally had to take 10 shots before my second date, because I was like, okay, that was a weird experience ever, and I don't think I can ever see him again. But I blocked him on all social media, and then 4 days later, he messaged me on new Instagram, and the Instagram name was Matt, the guy that you ghosted. So yeah, restraining order, all the other good stuff. And that was my first and last time I ever had a guy pick me up at my place. So yeah, if you're interested in more stories like this, where I go on crazy 10 dates even without really thinking, subscribe and like this button if you've ever had a bad Tinder date that you wish you could escape, but you couldn't due to whatever circumstances. Okay, thanks guys. Have a good night. Bye.